straight course. So we start with the first division of this mile novice, and let's focus first of all on horse number 8, Mahafeth, who shaped well behind latest generation at Doncaster. That was over a mile and a straight track. He travelled strongly at one point, then became outpaced and just kept on quite takingly.
Yeah, I wasn't that taken with the run myself, actually.
Right, okay.
He missed the break, which didn't help. Yes, he moved up really well, and I thought, yeah, he's going to take a hand here, and then he rather petered out. It was a run that suggested he needed the race pretty badly. You'd expect him to come on a fair deal. He came into the paddock, he was quite skittish, but by the time the jockeys were mounted, he relaxed and was behaving himself well. And the experience will certainly have helped him.
It was that smooth move in the big part of the race that was the thing that I felt had promise in it.
And the 6th horse who finished just in front of him has come out and won a race to give the form a bit of a boost.
Let's move on to Mickey D, who also showed promise, ran over this course and distance. Perhaps not as competitive a race, but this horse was green, but kept on without really ever getting fully involved.
I think he has come on for the run physically, but I still think there's a bit more improvement to come in that respect. The time of that race was considerably slower than the 2nd division. They were both won by horses trained by Eve Johnson-Horton, and it was an improvement. The 2nd horse has been beaten at a short price since, but still ran okay.
OK, so that is Mickey D, the mount of Ross Orion for trainer Richard Hannon, and that's 2nd favourite at the moment. Night of Dreams is the shortest of those horses without experience to date, representing Richard Hannon in the colours of Sheikh Mohammed Obeid Al Maktoum and ridden by his retained jockey Andrea Atseni. What do you make of his breeding for the task, and what did you make of him in the paddock?
Well, I think he'll certainly appreciate trips a little bit in excess of this later on, but a mile as a 2-year-old should be fine. I felt he looked pretty burly, but he's one of those sort of dark grey roan horses who are quite difficult to judge, but he looked to me as though he was carrying a fair bit.
OK, so that's the son of Dark Angel, Night of Dreams. The horses, I think, have now just got down to the start, and they might be able to close up those stalls, and we can start. They can start the loading process for our first race of 8 here today.
But Mahafeth, a strong favourite here for the William Haggis team in the opener at Salisbury. Let's go back to Lydia.
Yes, I was more impressed with his debut, or more encouraged by his debut at Doncaster than was Eddie. We've just been discussing that on Extra. But first of all, I just wanted to talk to you about the bunch of them, really. What did you make of them as a field? You've seen them all in the paddock.
I thought there were a lot of backward types in the race. I didn't think there were many who looked really well forward. I did think BELLOCCIO of David Minouzier looked fine. Alias, I think, will be a nice horse next year and probably will come on a good deal for the run. He can't have been long gelded because he was left in the Derby, and Derby is not for geldings, and so he can't. He had that entry, which must have been before he was gelded.
Yeah, I quite liked the look of, not for today, but for future reference, Tall Order.
Yeah, you did. You liked him, didn't you?
I did. Plenty of stamina on the dam side of things, isn't it, from the family of Pride. I think he looked as though the run would bring him on. He's got some sharpness from the Mohara side of things. I'll be interested to see how he runs today. But let's focus first of all on the form that's in the book. So we had a slightly different view of the Doncaster run.
Yeah, it was an okay run, and it's not far off the best form we've seen of these horses, because they haven't had to show an awful lot so far in just one run. We ought to mention Colden's Passion. We were on duty here when that horse ran, and ran more than respectably, I think, first time. He's certainly come on a good deal physically, and he's tackles the same course and distance again. The ground is probably similar, I'd say, maybe a little bit softer today.
He's still got some growing to do, hasn't he? He was on and off the bridle and green on that occasion, but did see out the race quite nicely to finish 4th behind Longline.
He did, and I believe that the connections would have been pleased with that effort.
Mickey D showed a bit more, I think, slightly more, don't you think, when he was 3rd, albeit that he never got involved in the meat of the race. Neither did Colden's Passion, for that matter.
Yes, I mean, he was given us a conservative build-up to the race and came forward strongly at the end.
They've loaded very quickly. Time to join Mark Johnson with the call.
To complete the line, Dancing Master moving forward now into stall number 10. They're in the gate. And they've taken out of the stall Sunset in Paris, and they're off and running. Sunset in Paris was taken out of the stalls, having got restless, and did not go with the field. More of that after the race. So they race over a mile in Division 1 of this 2-year-old novice, and away very alertly and keen is the Bay Warrior, and the Bay Warrior has pulled his way into the early lead. Racing in second is Colden's Passion, alongside Mickey D, and over on the far side is Alias. Then towards the outside, the well-backed favourite Mohafeth in the royal blue and white, just tracking that leading group. Jinyami is next in the field, a little bit wide as they go towards this dogleg turn, but racing in advance of No Day Never. Another one wide is BELLOCCIO as they race now on towards the halfway point. Night of Dreams is running very greenly at the back of the field, being ridden along by Andrea Azzini. Also towards the rear is Invincible Soldier, and so too is Dancing Master, another one who's racing very greenly through the first half of the race. In midfield at the moment towards the inside rail is Tall Order, who's trying to make up just a little bit of ground. They're racing on now down towards the final 3 furlongs. There's a cutaway at the 2 furlong marker, and on the outside it is Colden's Passion who lays it down to the Bay Warrior. Now coming under a ride is the favourite Mohafeth, but he is staying on. He's just about taken second, and now he's come through to take the lead. So it's now Mohafeth as they hit the quarter pole, and he's gone on by a length and a half to Colden's Passion in second. Down the wide outside, staying on now is No Day Never, and so too very, very wide is BELLOCCIO, and they're deep inside the final furlong, and Mohafeth has yet to seal the deal. Now Alias is staying on between horses on the near side, BELLOCCIO, and it's Alias who's now taking the lead with BELLOCCIO. It'll be between these two as they hit the line. BELLOCCIO on the stand side, Alias over on the far side, and back in third, Mohafeth.
Inside the final furlong, it looks as though Mohafeth had made the winning move, but he just started to paddle inside the final furlong, and 2 really promising newcomers were able to reel him in. It was BELLOCCIO for David Minucci and David Egan, who has won, beating Alias for Rafe Beckett and Harry Bentley. Back in third is Mohafeth for Jim Crowley and William Haggis. At this point, Colden's Passion has just surrendered the lead to Mohafeth, who looks as though he's going to be a comfortable winner, but the Alias is the first to give chase, and BELLOCCIO from a wider position in the track have finished this race off really strongly.
Yeah, there are lots of stamina in this horse's pedigree, and he's come with this steady and sustained run down the outside, and Alias, I think, got in front briefly but was just nudged out near the finish, and the winner was just ridden leaving the stalls. He's a grey horse with a white face, 4 or 5 from the right-hand side of the picture. Second horse was able to sit close to the pace on the far side in the Kirsten Rousing colours with Mohafeth and the outside, the favourite in the Hamdan, Al Maktoum, still soon takes close order.
There are a few of them that are very keen. Dancing Master's just got badly checked there, hasn't he? But one of the ones that's keen is the early leader. Also very green at the back is Night of Dreams. He, in the yellow colours, he's never really quite settled, has he? There's horses at various stages of development, is what I'm trying to say.
And there's a horse in the horse in purple and yellow colours on the outside, Giname, who was really, really keen going to post and just hasn't picked the bridle up in the race, so he's got a lot to learn about things. But the winner at the moment is just a couple behind him on the outside. Second horse in about 5th place, chasing the Bay Warrior, who's leading from Colden's Passion.
Yeah, so this is the point where Colden